Many thanks for your company on today's edition of the Marketplace. Welcome back. Now, new tax measures outlined in the supplementary budget are expected to rake in some significant amount of revenue to the state. A breakdown of the revised revenue estimates shows that the country could derive an additional 513 million Ghana cedis. George Rafi has more in the following report.
The data showed that the energy-related revised taxes would bring in the highest in terms of what the state realized by December this year, bringing in more than 200 million Ghana cedis. The review in the communication service tax, which has been increased from 6 to 9%, should bring in about 100 million Ghana cedis to help hit the end-of-year target of 524 million Ghana cedis. The Finance Committee's report revealed that government was forced to increase these levies because some of the tax types were underperforming. For instance, the energy debt recovery levy that government was hoping to realize 236 million Ghana cedis for the first half of this year, it however just got 32 million Ghana cedis. On the increase in the energy debt recovery levy, the Finance Ministry said it had to do this to help issue more bonds to finance the energy sector debt. Finance Minister Ken Ofori-Atta is optimistic these measures would help government meet its 58 billion Ghana cedis end-of-year target for revenue.
Because clearly GRA has not met its targets, but has always had close to 20% increase each year. We have changed the leadership, and we are changing some of the other senior personnel to really encourage performance culture in that place. I'm optimistic that with the focus that we are putting on them, that GRA will be able to deliver.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
However, there are some economists and analysts that are still doubting this projection, insisting that government will end the year on another bad note because these revenue targets are too ambitious. In a related development, the taxes are yet to secure the president's signature to aid its implementation this week, as projected by the Finance Ministry.
Now, the Controller and Accountant General's Department, in collaboration with the Ghana Interbank Payment and Settlement Systems (GIPS), is to issue e-switch cards to all public sector workers for salary payments. Vice President Dr. Mahamudu Bawumia, who disclosed this at the launch of the Ghana Dual Card, says this is an innovative way to expunge ghost names from the country's payroll system. The Ghana Dual Card is an integration of the e-switch card and the Ghana Link card, which will be used for digital transactions.
And the biometric feature of the e-switch makes it ideal for public sector payments, as it is able to eliminate ghost workers. So to eliminate the phenomenon of ghost workers once and for all, we are going to require that all government workers will also be paid through the filter of the e-switch card. This means that all public sector workers that do not have e-switch cards will be issued with these e-switch cards. And money, even though the money is not going to be paid to the e-switch card, the money will be paid into every worker's bank account, but the filter will be e-switch. And that will make sure 100% that for the whole public sector payroll, we can say that there will be no ghost workers on the public sector payroll. The problem of ghost workers is going to be solved once and for all. We are using technology and digitization to solve this problem. So all workers will get their pay. Normally, it's just the filter through the e-switch, so that we can make sure that someone is not on NAPCO and at the same time claiming salary from afforestation or that sort of thing. Well, we will have a full view of everybody, and it will eliminate ghost workers. And that's where we are going. We need efficiency, and this is where we are going. We've also decided that in the area of travel, you know, government workers travel a lot by the nature of the work. And, you know, especially when you travel abroad. Today is a cashless world. So when you go abroad and you are carrying a lot of cash, it's a problem. If some hotels may not even accept a lot of cash payments. So we are saying that we have to move all government travel to credit and debit cards, so that if you move to anywhere, you can make all your payments on your credit card or your debit card, and the accountability, therefore, and the transparency will be assured.
And in another development, Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia has assured that government's digitization drive will improve Ghana's economy and help reduce high interest rates. It is also expected to improve access to financing for micro, small and medium-scale enterprises. He was speaking at the opening of the Ghana office of the World Business Angels Investment Forum.
The World Business Angels Investment Forum, WBAF, is a global organization that brings together key players of the equity market to discuss the benefits and challenges of angel investment in achieving successful growth for businesses. Its branch in Ghana will focus on organizing angel investors to support small and medium-scale enterprises facing financial difficulties. Speaking on the high interest rates as a barrier to financing for MSMEs, Vice President Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia assured that government's digitization drive will help boost the confidence that banks have in the individuals.
The nature of the social capital, the lack of trust in our societies, that keeps interest rates very high. That keeps access to capital very, very low. What we are doing, and this is what is so important that everybody understands, what we are trying to do is to build the social capital. We are doing the macro side. We are bringing the macroeconomic stability that is happening. We've known how to do that for a while, but what we haven't done since independence is to build the social capital, or the system that allows the social capital to work.
Chairman of the Board of Directors of World Business Angels Investment Firm, Bas Altuntas, explained that as part of efforts to grow angel investments in Ghana, the WBF will create more awareness.
First, 2 action plans, which will be approved, of course, by WBF Ghana Board, is organizing the global fundraising stage in Ghana and invite startups to the stage, select the best ones and bring them to Istanbul for the global investors. This is the first one. The second one is, of course, education. Capacity building is very important for entrepreneurs and for also investors. So WBA Business School will be very active in Ghana to deliver these educations to investors.
The branch of the World Business Angels Investment Firm in Ghana will be the first in Africa, with the second in Nigeria to be opened in September. For Joy Business, Karen Dudu.
Metropolitan Life Insurance has introduced a funeral policy with various benefits for policyholders, including waiver of premium payments on retirement of premium payers. This means that the policyholder ceases to pay premiums at retirement age but still has policy and premium cover for life. My colleague Bismarck Awusa was at the official launch of the MetLife Family Eternity Plus and now reports.
The Metropolitan Life Insurance Family Eternity Plus policy is a solution that seeks to address totally the holistic needs of funerals of policyholders. It has been designed to provide immediate cash to finance funeral expenses of the family of the policyholder. Speaking to Joy Business at the official launch of the product, Managing Director and Country Head of Metropolitan Life Insurance Ghana Limited, Tewia Ben Ahmed, said the product seeks to complement the industry's efforts in boosting insurance confidence.
We are of the opinion that the funeral solutions that the insurance market currently provide do not address the entire needs of the Ghanaian insurance public when it comes to their funeral needs. And we are telling you about the fact that, first of all, when somebody moves on, there is a need to deal with the 1-week celebration. After, as you know, the body would have been moved to the morgue and stuff like that. And we are, as part of our standard benefits, provided under the Family Eternity Plus, paying 25% of your main funeral benefit to cover the expenses of the 1-week celebration, which could be as high as 15,000. And what is interesting about this is that when that 15,000 is paid, it's not deducted from the main funeral benefit that you selected.
Guest speaker and MD of Carbank, Frank Edu, is lamenting the cost incurred in funeral planning in recent times and has lauded MetLife for the initiative.
The cost of funerals in Ghana today is daunting. It's high. At the very least, you might be looking at anywhere between 40 to 50,000 cedis. But the reason why this product is important is that should we and can we continue to depend on family and friends to finance the funerals of our dearly departed ones?
On his part, Deputy Commissioner of Insurance Michael Kofiando reiterated his outfit's commitment to building annuities market for pensioners.
We know they'll be getting lump sums from tier 2 and tier 3. And what are they going to be doing with all these monies? Becomes very tempting. Somebody said something the other day. Just go home and marry additional wives. Or you have lots of money in your hand at the same time. You think that it's always going to be there. We need to help these people to manage them.
Bismarck Awusa, Joy Business.
Now, players within the financial technology and mobile money services space are calling for the Payment System Services Act to deal with key matters hampering overall expansion of mobile money transactions in the country. Head of Mobile Money Services for MTN, Elihini, has been detailing these concerns, including the minimum paid-up capital as well as increase in wallet sizes. He spoke at the ongoing MTN Mobile Money Stakeholders Forum at the Mervyn Peak Hotel here in Accra. Well, my colleague Charles Aite is on the ground there. He joins me live for some more details. Charles.
Hello, Emmanuel. So, as you rightly stated, stakeholders in the financial services sector are really calling for an all-inclusive, mode when it comes to the Payment Services Act, which, of course, was passed today, of which is going to be enacted somewhere 9 months' time. But it's very clear, considering the fact that Ghana continues to move beyond several regional markets with the rates of mobile money performance against that of Kenya and even Ivory Coast, specific issues still remain unattended to. First has to do with the limits on the wallets, issues regarding cybersecurity, matters that has to do with incentivizing the industry to attract more people and agents in the future. In the short as well, we shall be interacting with the head of Mobile Money Services, Elihini, who has also been sharing severe concerns, especially when it comes to the taxation on the mobile money industry and even mobile money services in that regard. He has warned in categorical terms that this could not just collapse the industry, but send Ghana back to the idle moment of performance against Kenya and Ivory Coast and other performing economies in that regard. But beyond all these things, one thing that we're also picking is that the performance of mobile money services in Ghana keeps rising, especially within the female population. Of course, we also made to understand the fact that despite the insurgence of cyber attacks across mobile money services, issues regarding the protection of several websites and that of the services across board is being beefed up, not just on the side of MTN, but other telcos as well. So these are some of the things that we're picking here at the just ended Stakeholders Forum. We're trying our best to get in touch with Elihini, who is currently engaged in some sectors of the media houses. But beyond that, there was also some concerns regarding the security of mobile money agents across the country. We have heard about the acid attack on some mobile money service agents, of which we're told they were safe and several insurance services were made for them. But thankfully, we have been joined by Mr. Elihini, the head of Mobile Money Services. You raised key concerns regarding the Payment Systems Act. You talked about widening the mobile money wallet limits and that of incentivizing the industry. What more can you say about that?
Well, first of all, thank you for the opportunity. In terms of the limits on the wallet, we believe is relevant because the service itself has evolved. And now, I mean, when the initial regulations were passed in 2015, the EMI regulation, it's been 4 years, and we think that a lot of people have now come into the ecosystem. Small retailers are now using it, and these are people who have found the platform very useful and support their business. And so we need to encourage them by giving them a lot more access to be able to perform more transactions on the platform. Most of the time, the feedback you get is that, well, transactions beyond certain limits, they should go through the bank. We admit that, but what we must also realize is that the banks have been around. These types of customers have also been around, but they've chose to look at mobile money because it serves their purpose. Right. So we should give them the opportunity.
Right. For the purposes of time, help us also understand the issues of taxation. You have spoken vehemently against this issue, worrying that it could indeed have an impact, a negative one on mobile money services.
Yes, and the issue of taxation, we gave the example of Uganda and the impact it had within 3 months, the reduction it had on the service people living. Now, you see, mobile money is a channel today. It's a channel for executing financial transactions. Right. Those transactions themselves have their tax elements already incorporated. Right. So assuming you are paying for a service, the tax is already there. So government collects those taxes. So if you are putting taxes on the payment itself, it's as though you are asking people to go and use cash. And so we all know the cost of cash.
In itself, it should not be considered, in the very first instance. Yeah. Many thanks, sir, for your time. But just stay with me after this outro with Emmanuel Bajuafe. So you did hear that from the head of Mobile Money Services, Eli Hinete. We shall be engaging more stakeholders here at the forum to give you updates in our subsequent bulletins, Emmanuel.
Many thanks for that update, Charles IT, reaching us live from the forum organized by the MTN Ghana for mobile service and financial technology company players within the financial service space. Away from that, the acting managing director of Ghana Stock Exchange, Eko Afeji, is promising to introduce new measures to market the preferred place for raising capital. Mr. Afeji was recently appointed as acting managing director at the exchange. This follows the decision by current boss Kofi Yamua to exit on retirement. Speaking to Joy Business, Mr. Afeji said he would be looking at reviewing the listing requirements to help bring in more firms on the market.
The key thing is to make the exchange relevant in the economic development of Ghana. What I mean by that is that we need to make some significant contribution towards the development of this country. How do we do it as capital market? We need to pursue our mandate. And what's our mandate? 2, 1, to facilitate mobilization of long-term capital for companies by floating shares of corporate bonds so they can raise long-term capital. Or the government can also use the market to raise bonds for infrastructure, etc. That is how we can help companies to raise long-term funds, develop, and in the end, contribute to the development of the economy. And that is something that we're going to focus on. Promote that aggressively. Make the market or the capital market the preferred marketplace to raise long-term capital.
When it comes to raising long-term capital.
Exactly. Then at the same time, make sure there is a preferred destination for investments. What have we done? We've created 3 markets. We have the main equity market, that is for the shares of big companies like Unilever, Standard Chartered Bank, etc. Then we've created a Ghana alternative market for the smaller companies, where we can have local medium-sized companies to also get on board. Then the Ghana fixed income market. So if you want equity, you can get equity. If you want bonds, you can get bonds. So you're sitting in Boku somewhere, Tamale, and you buy treasury bills or government bonds, and you want to sell before maturity, GFM is there for you. That is the Ghana fixed income market. And that is what I want to achieve. The person walking down the street with funds to invest will first of all think of the market.
So still talking about stock market issues, and a researcher on the market, Bertha Atubika, has joined us to give us an update on the second day of the performance of the Ghana Stock Exchange and outlook for the rest of the week. Good afternoon, Bertha. Welcome.
Thank you very much, Emmanuel.
All right. So how did the Ghana Stock Exchange open yesterday, and how is the various equities on the market playing out like?
Okay, thank you very much. Yesterday, the Ghana Stock Exchange did not see much activity because by close of trading session, we had only 15,906 shares trading. Though we had certain equities participating in trade, we only had TBL going up by 14.29%, and FML also shot up marginally by 0.42%. Enterprise Group Limited was the top loser on the market. It depreciated by 4.76%, and it closed the day with its share price at 2 Ghana cedis. It's been a bit volatile, as we can see from last week. And we also have Standard Chartered Bank going down by 3.95% to close the day with its share code at 18 Ghana cedis 25 pesos. GDBO closed losing 2.5%. MTN shed 1.41%, currently priced at 70 pesos per share. And it recorded the highest volumes of shares trading yesterday on the stock market. 6,800 shares were traded. And currently, it's still the most traded equity on the Ghana Stock Exchange.
Now, do you expect this volatile trend to be maintained before the close of the week? Or you expect any changes?
So is it for MTN? Well, for MTN, we are expecting it to be, before close of week, it shouldn't exceed 70 pesos. Okay. Considering the fact that it's trading a lot of shares on the market, we could see it either go down or even come up marginally. Right. It's been very volatile, let me put it that way, on the stock market.
All right. Now, quickly update us on the performance of the cedi as against other major trading currencies.
Well, the Ghana cedi lost marginally by when we started today. It lost about 0.11% to the dollar, and the average quote for $1 is 5.39 Ghana cedis, and to the euro, the cedi has lost 0.31%, and currently we have a euro going for 6 Ghana cedis 3 pesos. But if you look at the trend from May till now, the cedi has been relatively stable.
All right.
If you look at it against the euro, it's been relatively stable. We don't see much changes at all. And then if you look at it against the dollar, it's the same thing. If you look at the graph, you realize that the cedi has been on the same trend for some time now. From May till date, it's been very stable.
That's
on
some
the
good
forex
news.
market. Yeah.
All right. Okay, many thanks for that update, Bertha Atubiga. And of course, we look forward to getting some more updates by the close of the week. Bertha Atubiga is a research analyst bringing us up to speed with developments on the stock market. And on that note, we wrap up this afternoon's edition of The Marketplace. It's been me, Emmanuel Abuaji, your host, bringing to you the major bulletin on business. Finally, good afternoon.